I was in Washington, D.C. over the weekend, and I was using my, Apple's iPhone 6s Plus, which I still have on loan, as one of the cameras I was bopping around with because I wanted to test out a whole bunch of different apps. One of the things that makes the iPhone 6, the iPhones, some of the greatest cameras in the world are not even necessarily how good the pictures it takes are, but the fact that you can keep adding features via the greatest library of mobile photo apps you can possibly get. And one app that I was using a hell of a lot was Slow Shutter Cam. There are a lot of apps that do this sort of thing, and they are called slow shutter. The one that I'm talking about is the one you're actually showing right now by Cogitap Software. It's got a gajillion reviews, all of them, pretty much all of them good, $1.99. What it does is instead of opening the shutter, exposing the sensor to light, closing the shutter, write a JPEG, it works by keeping the sampling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures and then averaging them together to create a synthetic final image. And I just dropped some. I dropped a few of the pictures I took over the weekend into the Skype chat if you happen to grab them. So one of them is to do the sort of things that you've seen there, which is it will mimic the effect of a slow shutter. You can tell it to please keep the shutter quote unquote open for 8 seconds or 30 seconds or a minute. So if there are moving objects, they will be blurred and they'll look really, really cool. And if you're doing light painting, if you want to like move an LED light through, you can draw things like that there. But it also has a couple of extra really cool things. You can do, for one, you can do things that have traditionally you've been able to do with cameras, such as if you're taking a picture of like a fountain, and they never look cool in a picture because it freezes it, and so you get like a 1/500th of a second. You see this collection of droplets that isn't nearly as cool as what you actually saw. And so that one I shot. That's the World War II memorial. I shot one with the slow shutter cam, one with the built-in camera, and you can see that on the slow shutter cam version, all the water is slightly blurred, so you actually get an idea of the motion of the water instead of seeing frozen shots. The other thing is when you're shooting at night, even an iPhone is, I wouldn't call it useless shooting in super darkness, but it has to just amp up the sensitivity of the sensor so high that it really is like dumping glitter on top of a decent picture. It's just so noisy, it's useless. But with slow shutter cam, because all that noise is pretty much random. It is average. The app is taking, if you leave the shutter open for a long time, it's taking an average of all of these shots. So any pixel that isn't there from shot to shot to shot is probably noise, and that gets averaged out. So a picture like this of the Lincoln Memorial, and it really was exactly, there is no light whatsoever except for on the memorial itself, gets to be not as good as what you get with a real camera, but still very, very little noise, a good deal of tonality, and if a plane happens to fly into the shot, you will get a bunch of little blips as it flies over the thing. But the thing is, it's $2, and it's like having a lens that you've got in your camera bag, where you will be out and about over the next 2 or 3 years with this camera. You'll take a picture using the iOS built-in camera app that won't turn out really well, and then it'll occur to you, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should try taking the same picture with slow shutter cam, and then you will get the shot that you actually wanted that you couldn't do with the regular camera app. So my pick is if there's only one thing that I really miss about not having an iPhone in my pocket every day, and that's all of these little tiny apps. I don't even necessarily miss the camera app. It's just the ability to have apps like this. I've been searching and searching for an app that's like this for Android, and the closest thing I've found does maybe 1/5 of the job, and it's all adware supported. So there's always this floating ad at the bottom of the screen, and you're holding your camera like this. You can't avoid but tapping on the ad at the bottom, so you wind up being taken to a web page.
I hate that.
And
Ugh.
it's just, yeah, exactly. And even if this app for Android did 5 times as good a job, I still wouldn't use it because it's just so damn annoying.
Yeah.
But Apple, iOS, you buy for $2, you can have a beautiful app that doesn't annoy you.
I like that. I do.